Click, click.
Trust Chief Meteorologist Riley Hale for your first alert. Live from Augusta, breaking news.
Breaking news at 6 o'clock. Richmond County deputies are on the scene of a shooting on Pamplona Drive. Our News 12 crew just getting to the scene about 10 minutes ago.
This is video just coming into us. It is live as we see it together. Deputies say 2 people were injured. They were taken to a hospital. Deputies were called to this home around 4 in the afternoon for shots fired and 1 person down. When they got there, investigators say the house had been hit by gunfire, and you could see a large police response there in the street there along Pamplona Drive. We also know 1 adult male and 1 juvenile female were injured. They both have non-life-threatening injuries.
But again, a developing story. We are on the scene there. We're working to learn more about the shooting on Pamplona Drive, so we will keep you posted. Some new information tonight from investigators after the death of a 1-year-old. Police say Adeline Stevens died yesterday in a hole filled with water in a backyard on Winter Road in Burke County. Her mother, Alicia Stevens, faces second-degree murder charges. We have some new documents shedding a little more light on what police say happened yesterday.
And the Stevens family is sharing memories of that 1-year-old they lost. Taylor Martin spoke with them.
This is where 1-year-old Adeline Stevens died Monday afternoon after deputies say she was found in a 3-foot-deep water-filled hole in Burke County. Authorities say she was found face up and unresponsive, but that's not how her family will remember her.
She was thriving, she was happy, she was joyful, she was a light to anybody who met her.
The affidavit for arrest says Adeline's mom, 34-year-old Alicia Stevens, by criminal negligence caused the death of her 1-year-old. It goes on to say Alicia was grilling and not watching her daughter while she ran around the property. Police say Adeline was left unattended for, quote, some time and fell in the hole in the backyard. When deputies arrived, she was immediately taken to Burke Health, where doctors tried to save her life, but she didn't survive.
When I found out that she had actually passed, I fell to my knees and hit the concrete in my driveway.
After going through such a great loss, the family is just focusing on how to move forward from here.
She was the light in a dark time for our family.
Reporting in Burke County, Taylor Martin on your side.
The Burke County Sheriff's Office says they're waiting for autopsy results as well as toxicology reports, and they say more charges could be coming.
To weather now as we check in with First Alert meteorologist Mikhail Hannah Harding.
Headed towards work. We'll talk more about the potential for some rainfall pushing in as we finish off this work week coming up.
Friends and family say she was smart, loving, with a bright future. 17-year-old Malaysia Hogg was found dead in a ditch after being reported missing in Barnwell. She was 9 months pregnant. And as they make plans for her funeral, they're also starting their fight for justice. Hallie Turner live with us in the studio with the latest.
Judy Hogg says her 17-year-old niece, Malaysia, had one thing on her mind, the future, one that included being a nurse and a mom. But now both of those things have been ripped from their family.
Every time I wake up in the morning, that's the first thing I think of is Malaysia, like, dang, she gone.
Judy Hogg says the loss of her niece brings back a familiar pain.
That just brought back so many memories, and it opened up so many wounds. Losing her was like losing my sister over again. I was living through, and is still living through her kids.
She says Malaysia was young, outgoing, and full of life.
She was a free spirit. Like, everybody knew Malaysia around here.
She was also expecting a baby girl, London, just before Valentine's Day.
She was over the top. She was talking about it. She was showing me the sonograms of the baby. We had already had a nickname for the baby. We was going to call her our little Tink Tink.
But when she didn't show up just before she was set to be induced, things changed.
I was like, where is Malaysia? But then when I talked to my dad, he said that someone had saw her and that she had lost her phone and that she would be home Monday because she knew that I had to take her to the doctor on Tuesday because she was going to be induced on Tuesday. And after she didn't show up Monday, I was like, Dad, something's wrong.
Deputies found Malaysia's body just outside of a park in Barnwell. And as her family picks up the pieces, they are setting their eyes on justice.
We're going to find justice. We're gonna get them. Whoever did it, just know we're going to get you.
And we ain't going to stop.
Now, her body is being autopsied in Newberry tomorrow, and they're hoping to know more about how she died and why.
And we know that family's dealing with a lot right now. Hallie, thanks for the update there.
Investigators in Barnwell say they are still looking into the disappearance of Michael Still. He was last seen at Colony West Apartments on the 6th. A $300 reward for information is available. The Barnwell County Sheriff's Office also says there's no concrete evidence that his disappearance is connected to Malaysia Hogg's case, but they say they will continue to follow leads.
Meanwhile, 9 people shot in just 4 days. That's what law enforcement in Aiken County is facing right now. Sheriff Michael Hunt says the violence is not random. He blames gangs. The most recent shooting was just last night. That victim found at a gas station on Edgefield Highway, shot in the arms and chest.
New details tonight. Warrants are now available for the 5 Richmond County deputies arrested in connection to a use of force incident 2 years ago. The arrest warrants also link a 6th deputy to the case, Melissa Morello. News 12 first reported on her connection to this last week. We first told you yesterday the warrants had not been made public record. All those are now public and confirmed. The leaked ones are in fact what we reported yesterday. And then we told you about how the warrants describe how the deputies responded to inmates flooding the jail. It also mentioned an FBI civil rights violation complaint we told you about. Our IT team has been digging into this case for more than a week. To go back and rewatch all of this reporting, you can head to Wrdw.com. The Augusta Commission trying to lay down some punishment for high crime areas while also being fair to the nearby affected businesses. For weeks, leaders have been talking about ways to curb crime at a few stores, but the issue mainly revolves around the Smart Grocery convenience store over on Wrightsboro Road, the scene of almost a dozen shootings in recent years. Craig Allison joining us in the newsroom. So what are commissioners deciding to do with this property?
Commissioners are planning to come back with a 6-month probation on Smart Grocery's license. The property owner is fighting back, saying violence is also spilling over from the nearby apartments. Property owner Cy Pack said there's only so much they can do as a small business. They've been working with the sheriff's office for years, and in the past few weeks paid extra deputies to work overtime from 5 to 9 Thursday through Saturday. They say the request for 24/7 sheriff's office deputies out of Smart Grocery's pocket would take tens of thousands of more dollars a year to manage. But with this past weekend's shooting at Fox Trace, Commissioner Catherine Smith McKnight says the apartment owners also need to be held accountable.
I'm at the point to where what's going on over there at the landings, I'm ready to say condemn the place, shut it down, totally bulldoze it down at this point, because it has become, it's like a bloodbath.
And all new on News 12 at 11. We'll have more on that full conversation that went down today, as well as what other stores could be facing in terms of consequences.
Okay, thanks for those updates, Craig.
Repairs and improvements at Diamond Lakes Regional Park cost thousands of dollars more than planned. Augusta commissioners approving almost $155,000 it took to improve the park's restroom and concession building. Here's a look at some of that work. Those additional repairs were done before the renovations were unveiled last September. But today, commission approved that money to pay the contractor for the extra work.
In other city news, leaders approving $400,000 for the boathouse. The money will be used to help fix the rowing club space and start renovation projects for the deck and the AC unit. Comes after months of discussion over whether to salvage the building or demolish it and start fresh after some mold issues grew from burst pipes.
New at 6 o'clock, the Medical College of Georgia could be getting a new research building. Today, the Georgia State Senate releasing their budget for the next fiscal year. It includes more than $10 million for the Augusta plans. The 150,000 square foot research building would house state-of-the-art labs and equipment for researchers at AU. Supporters say it'll help attract new physicians, scientists, and faculty to the state's oldest and most prominent public medical school. This budget measure still needs the State House to approve it and then the governor to sign it.
Some good news to pass along. Hobby Lobby is on its way to North Augusta. News 12 confirming this development just hours ago. Coastal Equity says that 50,000 square foot store will be opening at the old Bilo in Edgewood Square, right off of Edgefield Road in Aiken County, just outside of North Augusta. Plans are still in the works, but it could open as early as January of 2025.
That is going to be a big hit for shoppers locally. 13 of our local girls basketball teams on the court tonight competing in the playoffs. Dan breaks down Tuesday's schedule on the court next in sports.
Sounds like some good action right there, Richard. We are looking at weather staying pretty nice for the next 48 hours, but some low rain chances moving in as we finish off the work week. Stick around to hear more about that.
Time and temp.
Brought the work week, but the weekend, the weather does calm down, and we're going to be cranking up the heat for February standards as we head into Monday and Tuesday of next week.
On your sideline.
It's
It's a big night for high school basketball across the two-state. Many of our local Georgia girls teams are tipping off their playoffs tonight, while one of our South Carolina teams is playing in the state Elite Eight. The 22-1 Silver Bluff girls basketball team has not lost in 2.5 months, riding a 21-game winning streak. But their biggest test of the season is tonight. The Lady Bulldogs are taking their talents to Columbia for a showdown with powerhouse Gray Collegiate. With a spot in the state Final Four on the line, the Bluff will have their hands full, but if there's one thing I know about this team is that they'll be ready to ball regardless of who they're facing. We'll have the highlights from the Bluffs game against Gray tonight at 11. We've got plenty of great girls basketball matchups across the Peach State tonight as well. In Class 2A, Josie and Butler will both have home court advantage in the first round, while Thompson and Washington County will be on the road. In Class 3A, ARC and the Harlem girls will be on the road as well. Up in Class 6A, the Lakeside Lady Panthers will continue their historic season at Rockdale County, just outside of Atlanta. Burke County is our lone representative in Class 4A on the girls' side, and the same goes for the Glasscock Lady Panthers in Class 1A Division 2. Then in the GIAA, the girls' teams from Westminster, Briarwood, and Edmund Burke are all in action tonight as well. The SRP Park High School Showcase continues tonight with the Glasscock County Panthers driving to North Augusta for a battle with Grovetown. This game is underway as we speak. The SRP Park Showcase continues on Thursday of this week with Evans taking on Augusta Christian. With the college football playoff expanding from 4 teams to 12 teams, the CFP board managers unanimously approved a new selection criteria. The 12 finalists will include the top 5 highest-ranked conference champions and the next 7 highest-ranked teams by the CFP committee. The top 4 ranked conference champions will all receive first-round byes. The teams seeded 5 through 12 will be playing each other in the first round on the home field of the higher seeded team. The quarterfinals and the semifinals will be played in the New Year's 6 bowl games, with the national championship continuing to be played at a neutral site.
News 12 continue to follow breaking news out of Richmond County. This is Pamplona Drive, giving you a live look here as investigators continue to gather evidence on the scene of a shooting.
Still quite a bit of police activity happening there. Deputies tell us a couple of people were injured, taken to a hospital for treatment. They were called to this home around 4 in the afternoon for shots fired, 1 person down. When they got there, investigators saw the house had been hit by gunfire. And again, 1 male and 1 juvenile female were injured.
And they do have non-life-threatening injuries, we're told, but we are going to continue to stay on the scene. We'll bring you any more details as soon as we get them.
Also this evening, the first day in a federal hate crime trial after the Allendale murder of Dime Doe, a transgender woman, just wrapping up for today over in Columbia. The latest from the courtroom there in a live report after this break.
Ask your doctor about Dupixent, the most prescribed biologic for asthma.
Let's drive, baby! Milton Ruben Toyota promises to do whatever it takes. Lease a new 2024 RAV4 LE for $299 a month. Your dream ride awaits you at Milton Ruben Toyota.
DriveBaby.com. Click, click.
It's a federal hate crime trial just getting underway today in Columbia, South Carolina, for a man charged in the 2019 killing of a transgender woman in Allendale County. Wrdw accused of murdering Dime Doe, and today both sides got to make their case. Sydney Hood in the courtroom for us and is now live in Columbia. Sydney.
This is the first federal trial over a hate crime based on gender identity, and it all got started today. Now, because this is a federal trial, our cameras were not allowed beyond these doors right here, but we do have some video that we want to show you. Today, both sides got rolling on with opening arguments. They made their arguments to the jurors today. You had the government who went first. They based their arguments off on the relationship between Daquay Ritter and Dime Doe. Now, the U.S. Department of Justice Justice says that back in 2019, Wrdw convinced Dime Doe to drive to a rural area of Allendale County and then killed her because of their relationship. Now, once the defense got into their opening arguments today, they based their argument around the fact that Allendale is a small rural county. Everyone knows one another, and that's how rumors and gossip gets started. So that's kind of how they based their arguments today. The government laid out the 3 charges that Wrdw is facing right now, and then the defense asked the jurors to find him not guilty on all 3 counts. And then we also heard from some witnesses today. The government brought in the Allendale County Sheriff. They had a SLED agent to come in and testify, and then they had the Chief of Police for Allendale to come in, and he is still not done testifying. A court was adjourned at 6 o'clock, and he is going to be back on the stand tomorrow morning. That is Chief Wiggins with the Allendale Police Department. He was on the stand going on about 4 hours today, and during that 4 hours, we got to see the 1-hour-long video. He was working for SLED at the time Dime Doe was murdered, and we got to see the hour-long video, his interview with Wrdw, and that is kind of what got things rolling today. We actually got to see, what actually happened that night and heard from Wrdw himself. And again, everything that was all laid out on the table today is just getting us started. We are going to be back inside at 9 o'clock in the morning to continue cross-examination with Chief Wiggins.
Again, a federal hate crime case playing out in Columbia there in federal court. Thanks for the update there, Sydney, from Columbia.
Michael?
We are looking at some rainfall chances pushing in late week. Rainfall totals not looking overly impressive, but definitely drying out by the weekend at this time. We'll talk about that forecast coming up again next.
Back to Pixon.
Okay, we did not forget. It's time for your watch and win word of the day. Today's word is report. Insert that keyword on the News 1226 app, and you'll have a chance to win a $70 gas card and be entered to win that grand prize, a 70-inch TV. Once again, today's keyword is report. It's just our way to help celebrate our 70th anniversary on the air with you, Mikkel.
Well, thank you for that, Richard. We are looking at low temperatures for tonight on the colder side, so definitely be sure to bundle up taking the kids to school tomorrow. And if you have to go to work, we'll see those temperatures near freezing for most locations. Our southern counties could stay a degree or 2 above 32 degrees tomorrow morning. We'll see temperatures closer to the 40s, though, by about 10 a.m. And then we're looking at those temperatures pretty much topping off around 60 for highs tomorrow. So it'll be a pretty much seasonal day out there before we do see some above average temperatures creeping in by Thursday into Friday, with upper 60s to near 70-degree temperature readings expected. We are tracking the chance for rainfall late Thursday into your Friday, so definitely be sure to keep an eye to the sky and just watch out for that Friday morning. As we head towards the weekend, though, things dry out nicely, and we're talking about another warming trend going into the beginning of next week towards the mid-70s.
We have another live update coming your way at the top of the hour over on 26 News.
Then we're back with more News 12 at 11. We'll see you tonight.
At the CBS Evening News, we focus on solutions, finding solutions to help people understand what are the right choices to make for you and your family.
The 2024